Hello my darlings, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is AM. I am the founder of AVIUVI, and at aviuvi.com you can go and find the most amazing, spectacular and ethically sourced crystals from all over the world. I have this YouTube channel where I talk all about crystals, of course, but also sustainability, all kinds of spiritual practices. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're here in the plant house. If you've been watching the channel, you know this place. This is our summer house where we go to connect with nature. We have a garden here. We're close to the ocean. We go to the woods when we're here. And it's a very big contrast to Copenhagen, but we thoroughly enjoy it. Now, first of all, I want to say happy Spring Equinox, because we just had the Spring Equinox. Happy New Year, astrological New Year. Spring Equinox is really busy for us because it's our son's birthday. So we do so much spiritual practices, ceremonies prior to the Spring Equinox and after the equinox, as you will see today. But we do want to reserve those days for our son and just have normal kids celebration, birthday parties with friends or family. And we don't really do a lot of other things than that. We just really want to be with our family and celebrate our child. That's why I didn't film last week too, because we were doing all of these preparations and we were just really busy being parents. So now we're on the other side of it, and I have a lot of things on my bucket list right now that I want to do, especially here in the plant house, because again, this is where we're really connected with nature. This is where we can walk outside, have our feet on the ground, have our hands in the soil. And we also have, of course, a bunch of crystals here. One of the things that I want to do while I'm here in the plant house this time around is to cleanse the crystals. Cleansing crystals, I've made numerous videos about this. It's very much a ceremony for me, and something that I do to mark this transition from one season to another. But especially here at the Spring Equinox, it's the transition from one year to a new year. So I want to tell you what I had planned to do today and what we're actually gonna do. We have lots of crystals here, and I'm gonna show you in a little bit that we place strategically around here in the plant house to amplify the energies that we want to embody here, that we want to feel when we're here. What I had planned for today was to go to the beach with my son and wash all of our crystals at the beach. We've done that before. It's really nice and calming, and sometimes we make a bonfire or we bring snacks and drinks and have a nice day out of it. However, today he just wasn't in the mood for it. No big deal, he just didn't feel like doing it. And the thing about spiritual ceremonies is that you really have to be mindful of the mood, of the frequency for everybody who's involved in it. So it would be completely off for me, I would never do that, but for me to kind of force my son into go and do this ceremony with me today. So we're doing something else. Hov, luk lige døren. Okay. As you can see, we're home alone today. Andreas is in Copenhagen working while we have a little vacation here. And you know, this is how it goes. I'm sure you guys who are parents, sometimes your kids, they just want to cuddle up and watch cartoons and have food served to them and live their best lives, and sometimes they're in the mood to explore and do fun things. So this was just not the day. Luckily, we have a full moon tonight, and it's the first full moon of this astrological year. Furthermore, it is a lunar eclipse, and which is just supercharged, super powerful full moon. And I want to talk a little bit about the astrology too. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take all of these crystals and I'm going to place them tonight out on the lawn and let them have just direct contact with the earth. And then I'm going to let them spend the night out there under the moonlight. Perhaps it rains, perhaps there's a little mist in the air, and I'm going to place them really nicely so that they get the first rays of sun in the morning. There are a few crystals that I'm not going to do that with, but I'm just going to show you the crystals that I do want to do that with. Back here we have these amazing clear quartz clusters, and they're just fantastic. We have similar crystals back in Copenhagen. We want to place them in any space where we want to gather, and we want to amplify the highest, clearest consciousness of the collective. We want to contribute to that when we gather around a table like this, but we also want to draw from that beautiful energy. Then we have, this is so this is very not typical me, but I have a smoky quartz that is cut and polished and tumbled. This is what you would typically find in a crystal shop. And this is, I think it's the only cut and polished crystal that I own. And I've had this for a very long time. I have to say it's a really good specimen of a cut and polished smoky quartz. I love the groundedness of smoky quartz, but I do prefer raw smoky quartz. Way more natural. I feel like the energy is much more amplified. This is a little bit of a memory for me too. This is one of the first ones that I got, so I'm definitely gonna keep holding on to it. And it does have a really pretty little landscape inside. Yeah, so this is going outside. Then I have these blue crystals. This is so interesting. These are Amazonites, but they're from Norway. And we have these three little pieces here. It can be a little bit more difficult to find good crystals from Northern Europe, from Scandinavia. And it's not that there are not crystals here, they're just not commercialized the same way as crystals from China and Brazil. So I feel really lucky whenever I find native crystals for us. They're just extremely pretty. I love that we have three of them. So we have them in the guest room representing the three of us. Yeah, they're just pretty and they can absolutely be outside all night long. And then I have these three too, and I can't remember the name of them. These are some of the crystals that we've had forever too. These were Andreas's that he got, and we got these way in the beginning when I didn't even have AVIUVI. He sourced these to get for like an art project. That's kind of how everything started. That's also how crystals came into my life. Then I have this dog-tooth calcite. They are so cool. We have this around for creativity because this is also a place where we go to do a lot of creative work and the little projects, the little fun things, because we have a surplus of energy here. Yeah, so this is representative of that. I'm actually not 100% sure that this is gonna hold up outside, but I think I'm gonna give it a try. Then we have lithium. Lithium is, if you know anything about lithium, they're used for batteries. They're also used for antidepressive medicine. It's a really good crystal for mental ease, for meditation in my experience, and for some reason it fits really well with the space. This one I'm not gonna take outside either. And then we have, of course, pyrite, because we love pyrite, and these are the raw pyrite cubes. So this is exactly how nature created them. They're just awesome, and They represent us so well. This, however, you should not have out overnight, because what will happen is that the limestone around the crystals will dissolve if it gets wet over a longer period of time, and then the little cubes will fall out, and that would be a shame, right? Because one of the coolest things about a piece like this is that you get it in this awesome matrix where you can see how it has grown over millions of years. I think that's basically the crystals that we have here in the plant house. So I'm gonna show you that at the end of the video, or maybe tonight I'm gonna film it. So about this Aries season and about this eclipse that's coming up tonight. I've talked about the North Node and the South Node here on the channel before. The reason why I talk about it so much is because obviously I find it really relevant to talk about. The thing about the lunar nodes, the North Node and the South Node, is that it is very much about the collective consciousness and about the collective direction that we're moving in. So right now, the North Node, which represents the direction that we are collectively moving in, is in Aries. I don't have any Aries placements, but I absolutely love Aries people. Obviously my son, he's an Aries because he was born exactly on the Spring Equinox, but I have plenty of friends who are Aries too, and a lot of people around me who have very predominant Aries placements, and I love Aries people. A lot of energy, a lot of fire, yeah, and it's always really fun to be around. A little bit aggressive and a little bit dramatic sometimes, but that's fine, I'll take it any day. So if you have Aries placements or Libra placements, because the South Node is in Libra, and that's basically what we're gonna see less of. And Libra represents collaboration. It also represents compromise, like compromising your personal values maybe for the greater good of humanity. No, not humanity, but maybe for your partner or for a business partner. Whereas Aries is much more me first. This is what I feel like. This is what I want to do. Libra is much more diplomatic also. So there's kind of a picture going on here, right? That we're collectively moving in to a time, or we are in a time where it's more me first and less collaboration. And maybe that sounds not so good to you, but that actually sounds really good to me, especially in a collective sense, because this also means that some of the unions, some of the contracts that we have with other countries, with whoever it might be. I have to be a little bit careful with the wording that I'm using here, but that also gives a little bit of hope for independence for the countries. It also means that some of the agreements, some of the deals that we have had with other countries might have just run its course. It has just hit its expiration date, and it's a done deal, it's no more. Maybe we do need more independence collectively to figure out what kind of alliances we actually do want to have and why we want to make alliances with other countries, with other businesses. Yeah, so I think collectively it's a really, really good idea. The negative part about it is that you might be seeing a lot of conflict and aggression and resistance. But again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That might be what is necessary at this point. So personally, for people who have Aries or Libra placements, this is gonna be a wild few years. No, not few years, because it's ending in the beginning of 2025, so it's not going to be, it's just going to be this year, right? But it's going to be a bit of a trip, because it's going to be this ongoing theme about me versus we. And on a personal level, that comes down to your relationship, your marriage, your business partners, anybody that you have contracts with and you're doing some kind of collaboration with. You might want to get used to the idea of more independence. Yeah, I definitely know some Aries people who are going through some stuff in their own personal lives at the moment, and I think we're and Libra people too, so we're gonna see more of that. Again, that might just be because it has hit the expiration date. You have served each other for the purpose that you came together in this union, and maybe now it has run its course and it's time to, what do you call it, detach and find yourself and find your own independence once again, or for the first time in your life. I would say, especially if you're in a couple of years younger than me, so if you are in like the middle of your 30s, you're probably feeling this this year. It's gonna be different for everybody where it falls into your personal chart, but it is gonna be a big theme throughout this year about me and we, and when do you collaborate and when do you separate. Yeah, and so it's gonna be really exciting. I feel like it's exciting, but maybe it's because it's not hitting me personally. So what all of this astrologically is all about is the relationship between the sun, the moon, and the earth. So that's why every time we have an eclipse, a lunar eclipse where the earth is casting a shadow on the moon, or we have a solar eclipse where, again, it's the moon that's in between the earth and the sun. These eclipses are lining up the earth, us, with the sun and the moon, and every time we have these eclipses, it's like boiling water. So it goes up, it gets really, really hot, and then we have the eclipse, and then it goes down and it cools down, and then it gets cold, and then it boils up and down and up and down, right? So that's why it's gonna feel like, for example, if it's a relationship, it's gonna feel like, no, I really wanna be independent, it's really important for me to be independent, but then it fizzles out, but then it comes up again, and then it goes down again. And wherever it lands for you is perfect for you. Yeah, I feel like one of the best predictors of the future is the North and South Node and the eclipses. A lot more power this year, and I love that. We've been so passive, I feel like, so I'm actually just really looking forward to seeing some action, seeing some power, seeing people stepping into their individual power, their independence, saying enough is enough. Yeah, it's been a while since we've had that the last time. Besides cleansing the crystals today, and again, this is much more a ritual for me psychologically than anything else. This is not necessarily as metaphysical as some of my other practices are. Of course, it's great to get them clean. When I take them inside tomorrow, I'm gonna wash them up and make them beautiful and shiny. But it is much more about marking this transition for me personally, and on a psychological level. I have plenty of other traditions, rituals, ceremonies that are The other thing that we're doing today, because it is the new year, is that we're planning out a bunch of different things. But I wanted to show you this. So these are Okay, that was a Lego success. So this is microgreens, not so microgreens. But these are pea seeds that I planted a few weeks back, or sowed a few weeks back, and it was just old seeds that I had collected from the pea plants outside, so I had plenty just to use for microgreens. We use these every year actually for Anker's birthday as decoration, and they taste amazing. They taste just like peas, and it tastes like spring. Yeah, so we have these microgreens. I also tried it out with kohlrabi, but they didn't turn out that great, or that pretty. They taste great. It's not that. It's just it doesn't look as pretty as the pea seeds. We have some rosemary. We have some thyme that we're gonna plant out later today. I have some coffee grounds that I've been collecting over the last couple of days, just because it's great for compost. I did get some new supplies, garden supplies. This is such a random fact, but these are actually really good. I can't remember where I got them, but they're these pretty thick wooden sticks that you just write on the side what it is, but they just hold up for a really long time compared to some of the other ones. So if you can get these big sticks, do it. Then I got a new one of these thruft. Do you call it a thruft? A spoon for dirt. This is actually a kid size one, and I have the other sizes too, but the kid sizes are just better for potting out smaller plants and seed sowing, and yeah, I don't know, I just find them way more handy. Twine, seeds, dahlia seeds for this year. I haven't tried that before. And then I got a new watering can because I was thinking about getting one secondhand, but to be honest with you, I didn't want to take the risk of buying a watering can with lots of holes in it. So, you know, usually I would buy as much as possible secondhand, but not this time around. Then another tradition that we have, not only for Spring Equinox, but for both of the equinoxes and solstices, is to get a new wreath on the door. The wreath is a spiritual symbol in many cultures, and here in the north it's a spiritual symbol because of the cyclical nature of time. The seasons were just a matter of life or death back in the days here. The seasons are pretty pronounced here in Denmark, and it was even more back 1,000 years ago or more, right? So the seasons have always been very important, and very important spiritually for people who lived here. It was very important to be very aware of where you were in the season, when you could expect cold or warmth or water. So you lived very closely with nature. One way of celebrating that for us is to have a new wreath on the door every solstice and every equinox. So I make them myself because I either want to give them back to the earth by planting them in the ground if it's some type of seed, or I want to give them back to the earth by burning them and making them into ashes. So every 3 months we do that process. And this time around I have had this one drying. Let me see if I can show you. Willow branch wreath, and it's pretty big, but I think it's gonna look really cool back in the apartment. The one that we have had now is a linen wreath or a flaxseed wreath. So we're actually just gonna dump the whole thing into a big pot, and we're gonna have linen for days. This one I'm gonna burn when the season is finished. So I made this frame where I just put in a bunch of really long nails, and I was able to weave the branches in and out between the nails. Maybe I'll show you if I have time to do it today, or in another video I'll show you how I make a wreath. So that's the day today, and yeah, I'm gonna show you guys. I don't think I'm gonna talk that much more during this video, so I'm just right now gonna say thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, and if you would like more of this type of content, make sure to like, share and subscribe. It helps me to know what you guys want me to talk about, and it also helps others to find this content if that is what they're looking for. And I want to wish you the most amazing day, the most amazing spring equinox, the most amazing year, with so much love. to you and to yours.